Hello friends, welcome back to Exploring Art. During our time today, we meet a famous artist, we look a little bit at his or her work, and then we create an art project of our very own inspired by some of the work of that particular artist. Now, over our time together, we've done abstract artists, we've done people who've used watercolors, we've done paint, we've done construction paper, we've done a lot of different things together because every artist, a lot of them worked in different types of mediums. So today we're going to do something a little different today. We're going to do something in collage style today. So before we tell you who today's artist is, let me show you what our supply list for today is. Okay. Our supply list for today is you're going to need paper, glue, scissors, markers or crayons, and then old magazines or catalogs or old photos or some images maybe you've used for another project. Check with moms and dads about this because you don't want to cut up family photos, okay? So make sure you ask permission for something, because what we're going to do is we're going to cut things up to create our collage. Okay, so paper, glue, scissors, markers or crayons, and old magazines or catalogs or photos or things like that, newspapers, anything where you might see pictures, okay? All right. So today, this is our artist. Here he is. His name is Pablo Picasso. He was born in Spain in 1881 and lived most of his life there, and then he went on to be an adult as an artist in France. Okay, he created more than 20,000 paintings, drawings, sculptures, and other things. And he is renowned as one of the most influential and celebrated artists of the 20th century. Okay. He worked in a variety of styles, okay, and he died in 1973, and his value as an artist just kept growing and growing and growing. So it's an artist you've probably heard of, and you've probably seen some of his works before. Okay, he was co-founded the Cubist movement, which was a really cool avant-garde thing where you looked at the images and then you changed them into cubes and squares and all kinds of different shapes. So that was very interesting. They were broken up into pieces and then rearranged in an abstract form. So you kind of got a hint of what it was, but it wasn't a clear photograph or a painting. He was also credited with inventing constructed sculpture, and he co-invented the collage art style. And that's what we're going to work with today. So sometimes non-painted objects, such as newspapers, like I said, we're going to use catalogs today or magazines, you could use newspapers, are frequently pasted on the canvas along with the paint. Okay? So this shows differences in texture and questions what's reality and what's illusion in painting, and he uses color and shape and geometric figures and creates his images. Okay, so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to make a collage today inspired by the work of Pablo Picasso. So let me show you some of his images, okay? Okay, so here's the first one. This is very similar to this is the Cubist style, and you can kind of see that it's a person, but it was created and then it was cut into shapes, and there's a lot of geometric lines and shapes that influence that, okay? Take a look at this one. This is a totally different style. Okay, what do you see there? It is some sort of a face. We can see there's a nose here. It's the side view, the profile view, right? And this one's looking straight ahead. Maybe perhaps that's the neck. If you look at the eyes, one is kind of shaped like a circle, and this one's kind of shaped more like an almond. Very interesting design there. And then look at this one. This one he used paint. And you can see, you can clearly see that it is a picture of a face, but the eyes are different sizes, the cheeks are different sizes. I like this one. I think this one's pretty funny. So take a look at that one. Okay, so one eye is looking one direction, one eye is looking the other direction. You see that? There's an ear there, all kinds of interesting parts of the face there. Kind of looks like a collage, right? So that's what we're going to make today. We're going to make a collage face inspired by the work of Pablo Picasso. So go ahead and get your messy tray and gather your supplies, and we'll get started. Okay. So here's my messy tray. All right. So what you're going to do is once you have a magazine, you're going to look through it and find things that to you, because remember, this is your time, your art, you're going to make it however you want, that you can use to represent the parts of the face. So something that you might want to use for eyes, something you might want to use for a nose or a mouth or ears or hair. So I've got a variety of things here. I thought these were really interesting. So I don't know if these could be big ears. This looks like they're a piece of a vegetable. That's kind of interesting. I did cut out some eyes. Okay, and here's some noses. There's a nose. I also like this. It's like an orange or something. That could be a mouth or an eye, right? Or an ear. Okay. And then I did cut some lips, right? So it's up to you. So you're going to take your catalog or your magazine or whatever you have to cut up so that you can have a variety of pieces that you can use to represent your eyes, your nose, your mouth, your ears, your hair, however you want to create your piece of work. So I'm going to grab my piece of paper and my glue. And then I'm going to start gluing some of my pieces on to my piece of paper. I found a really cool piece of hair. So I'm going to start with the hair. You don't have to have hair. Remember, this is your art. So I'm going to glue on my hair. On my piece of paper. Because that's my largest piece, I think. So I'm going to glue that on there. Okay, so here's my hair. And now I'm going to use some other things that I found in my magazines to create my face. So look at this. There's a half of an orange. I thought that would be a really great ear. So I'm going to put that on as an ear. And then I have some eyes. I have a really big eye. Really, really big eye next to that ear. And then I have a little tiny eye. Look at this eye is closed. So this is a totally different eye. And that eye is closed. I thought that was kind of fun too. So it depends on what you find. And if you can't find things, you're going to be able to draw them too. I'll show you one I did earlier. And I drew some of the face parts on too, because you can use your markers or your crayons to add what maybe you might not be able to find. And that's okay too. Here we go. Look at this, what I found for a nose. I found a vegetable for a nose, and it's kind of pointed. So I thought that was kind of fun. And remember, you're going to find pictures that are different depending on what you have at home to use, right? So your things will be different than mine. And that's okay, right? Because it's your work. All right, so I'm going to put some little lips on there too. And I think I'm going to even use a chin. I found a chin. So if you want to use a chin or a forehead, it could be a forehead. Oh, this is so silly. All right, so I have glued all my pieces onto my piece of paper, and then I'm going to take my marker and I'm just going to kind of trace around what I drew just to kind of give it a shape or a form to it. So I'm going to draw around my hair and my chin, go around my ear. All right, so let me show you how mine turned out. Now take a look at that. How silly is that? You have the parts of your face, right? Some eyes. I have this vegetable for a nose. I have a mouth. I have an ear. Right, the other is I have two different eyes. And I made one earlier today too. And here I used some marker to do the cheeks. So look at, I used plants for hair. I've got a cat's ear there. Maybe you might want to not want to make a person. Maybe you have magazines or pictures of cats or dogs or birds or something at home. You can create it however you want. So let's take a look at Picasso's work again. Okay? So you can use things looking straight forward. You can use things in profile, whatever you happen to find, okay, to create your piece of work, right, inspired by the work of the artist Pablo Picasso, who was a Spanish artist. And he created so many, many different types of work. We only really explored collage today, but you could look him up and get information about him if you were interested. So collages inspired by the work of Pablo Picasso. Have a great week. I'll see you next time.